What is up, everybody? So, you know me, I've always been on a search for a decent Huaqiangbei speaker, and I think I might have just found the perfect one. This is the Tozo PA1. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, a lot of people's done reviews on these, and they weren't that impressed. Like, this isn't like the best speaker ever or anything. Well, the factory tuning does kind of suck. But the thing that I think is very special for this speaker is the fact that it seems that you could customize the tuning, you could cater it to your likings, not by an app, but by flashing the firmware with ACP Workbench. It seemed to be possible. Now, I haven't tried it yet because I did connect it. It did connect, but I didn't change anything yet because I felt like I want you guys to hear its factory settings. Because I know it's a minority of people who would actually go ahead and use ACP Workbench to tune the tweak the EQ settings. So I'm gonna give you the original factory sound for you to decide whether to buy it or not. And if you buy it, I would also do in the second part of the video where I do a tutorial where you could actually, I'll probably show you step by step the process of how to tune it, because I'm actually working towards that as well. So your progress is my progress, and I want to show it to y'all, like, you know, how it works and all. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. Anyways, this is the Tozo PA1, and we're going to be doing a review on it. So let's talk about what I like and don't like. So I really like about this speaker is the fact that obviously the customizability, you know, even without the ACP Workbench, the app is still pretty powerful. I think it had 16 bands of equalizer. I forgot. But I didn't use the app, but it had a lot of EQ bands, and it's pretty powerful, in my opinion. I've tried it once, but I deleted it. I just don't like using apps with speakers. But it's there if you want it. And it also has its 3 EQ modes, and one of them, which is the third mode, the bass boost mode, in my opinion, sounds the best. It is also, I think it was waterproof rated, so that's also a good point. Another thing I like about it is the fact that it is cheap. This thing is constantly on sale on Amazon for about $37, and by the looks of it, you probably guess it's a Soundlink Flex clone. The Soundlink Flex is about 149 bucks, so that's like $100 less. And with the sound comparable to the Soundlink Flex, I think, at least to me, it's pretty obvious that I'm definitely going to go for the Tozo. Anyways, let's do some sound check. We're going to do a comparison between the One More speaker and the Zicoroop speaker. We'll see how it fares. In max volume comparison, I would be using the first EQ mode, or I'm sorry, the second EQ mode, which is the treble EQ. It's the loudest. And in the sound, just regular sound comparison at about 60%, I'll be using the third EQ mode, which is the bass boost mode. In my opinion, it's the most balanced. Let's start from comparing it with the One More, and I'll be laying it flat like these because I think this is how they're supposed to be used. I'll be doing that. Let's start the comparison. Okay, we'll be starting with the Tozo. At about 60%. One more. It's just a dream living inside my fantasy. Come to me. You are in my thoughts. I never stray from the heart of you. Come to me. Tozo. One more. Am I touching you? I wanna feel every part of this. Come to me. Forever and a day, whatever feelings take hold of you. Set me free. Alright, now I'll be cranking them all the way up to the maximum, starting with the Tozo PA1. Now, I will switch the Tozo PA1 to the the second mode, which is the treble mode. That is the loudest mode. be turning it all the way up. One more. Alright, so as you can see, the Tozo PA1 gets louder, but the one more has more bass at maximum volume. Otherwise, at normal volumes in the third mode, the Tozo PA1 tends to distort a little bit, especially past half volume, whereas the one more stays clean all the way until about 70-80%, where about 70-80% is where one more distorts, but more than that, the distortion fades away. So that's a little bit about these speakers. Now you can see why I said the factory tunings weren't so good. Let's switch up. Let's switch to the Zicoroop and do a comparison with that. Okay, now we're starting again from the Tozo at about half volume. I will switch it to the bass mode, which is the third EQ. Both speakers are facing the microphone. Let's start from the Tozo. Zicoroop.
Just a dream, I'm living inside my fantasies. Come to me. You are in my thoughts. I never stray from the heart of you. Come to me. And if we can't be
Tozo.
we can't be under the water.
Zicoroop. Okay, so now we're going to be turning it all the way up to the maximum. We'll see how it sounds. Again, starting from the Tozo, and I will be switching it to the second mode. Okay, starting from the Tozo.
It touches like the starlight. Your body makes me delve into all I do.
Alright, Zicoroop.
And if we can't be on the surface, we can't be under the water. Underwater love, and if it's such a deeper purpose.
Okay, so as you can see, both speaker plays very loud. However, the Zicoroop is not only louder, but retains more bass at maximum volume. The Tozo is not as loud, and doesn't have as much bass. The thing with both speaker is that at maximum volume, it's just very sharp and shrilly. It's all treble. Even with Tozo being bassier, there's still not a lot. Well, they're small speakers, so you really shouldn't ask much, and they are very loud. Anyways, that is the comparison. Now I'm going to do a comparison between the three EQ modes. I'll be switching them constantly in between, just so you can hear the difference. Okay, let's start. This is the second mode. Third mode. so you could get an idea of from the second mode being the least bassy to the third mode being the bassiest, and the first mode is in between. I call it the first, second, and the third mode because it is the mode that you'll get when you turn it on. So that's kind of why it's called that way. Anyways, now you have an idea of how it sounds. Let's get to the teardown. All right, revealing the grill, it reveals the layout of that of a Bose Soundlink Flex, a 2.5-inch full range driver, and 2 passive radiators, front and back. So this is the speaker driver. It's a 2.5-inch unit, a 2-ohm driver. I think Bose Soundlink Flex also has a 2-ohm driver. It looks like a GGEC driver. Same company as those that made the JBL stuff. This is its casket to keep it watertight and airtight. All right, in here we see the main circuit board. I will be popping it off, and that seemed to be a 21700 instead of an 18650 with an NTC built into it. Very interesting. It's also got its protection. This is the charging port, also the programming port. I will be taking this off. Yes, that is indeed a 21700. And here's the other side of the circuit board. As you can see, another classic 3-chip configuration with the power management amplifier and the Bluetooth DSP all-in-one. Now, the thing I said about this being DIY friendly is the fact that this Bluetooth chip is a BP chip by MV Silicon. These are programmable via USB most of the time, and they are pretty capable if you ask me. This is the amplifier chip. I try to look it up. I can't seem to find how many watts it is, but I'm going to guess it's a TPA 3118 clone, so I'm going to say 30 watts. That is a power management chip for charging the battery. Probably just a buck converter of sort, but I doubt it needs any of that. It might just be like a regulator of anything, because this is a single cell battery. It's a 21700. So yeah, pretty interesting. A very simple construction, just like the Bose Soundlink Flex. That thing is also pretty simple. Without further ado, let's put it back together, and part 2 will be me attempting to tune this. I will go through how every step, how I'm doing, what I'm doing, and work through it with all of y'all, because this is my first time as well. I have not tuned it yet, so we'll see how it goes, and if it works, this is going to probably be the best Huaqiangbei speaker I've ever found up to this point. Will there be others? I am looking to getting the Treblab HD Force, because that one also has one of these chips, and the W King D8. Also, it's got one of the BP1048 MV Silicon chip, which is capable of user tuning it with ACP Workbench. Anyways, there you have it. See y'all in the next part.